Hi everyone, I am Shadow Witch, and that was our new theme song by Neve, which is awesome. And I'm here with Michelle, who's going to be my videographer today and my questionnaire. We're going to be talking about ghosts and spirits today. A lot of questions have been coming my way. And some of the questions that have been coming to me about ghosts found in graveyards. I've been communicating with ghosts personally. I see ghosts, I communicate with ghosts. I don't really do it professionally for people. I have a really good friend that I recommend people check out. But for myself, I have been seeing and communicating with ghosts since I was very young. At least 10 years old, if not younger. And it's just a part of my life. It's not something I find surprising anymore. And I haven't come by any of my information from books. I haven't come by any of my information from other people. I've only come by my experiences, my information by my own experiences. Well, Gabby has told me a few things too. Yeah. So, well, I was asked the other day about spirits in graveyards, and spirits and ghosts I call pretty much the same thing. Spirits in graveyards, I've never really, I think that's more of a Hollywood thing. Honestly, my personal, and again, this is my personal experience. If you follow a medium, a psychic, so a ghost hunter show, we'll be talking about those, and you believe a certain way, then that's awesome. You do you. This is my own personal experience of many years. I don't find that spirits hang out in graveyards or cemeteries, simply because the spirits I've encountered, and I've encountered many over the years, hang out after they've passed on in places that make them happy. I mean, imagine when you're on the other side, you do not have the physical limitations that humans have. We can't walk through walls. We can't float in the air. We have, gravity and other restrictions, basic physics, that spirits are not, they don't have to, follow. So why would you hang out in a place that was not a fun place? I find most of them hang out in like elementary schools, their childhood homes, maybe grandma's home, places that they really enjoyed, maybe a park, or places that they really enjoyed. And as far as like a park, if it had a structure, most of them tend to be within structures as opposed to free-flowing outdoor wild spaces. But did you have a question about that, Michelle?
Yes, I wanted to know that if a spirit dies violently, do they stay in the same place that they've died?
I think that's a really good question, because that is what Hollywood movies and books and literature would have you believe. And I think what a lot of people with our understanding of physics would want us to believe, like boom, the rock fell, they got hit on the head with a hammer or something violent, horrible, a car crash, and they're kind of stuck, like, I'm dead. They know they're dead. They do know they're dead. They have some understanding that things are different. I have dealt with small children who have passed on that knew that things had changed. They don't sleep anymore. One child told me she was killed in a car accident many years before this house was built. Not my house, but another house that I had been asked to go to. It was a family member. I don't do this professionally. And she kind of moved in because they had kids there, and she's like, I don't sleep anymore. I'm up at night. So she would like throw things around the house at night to try to wake people up because she wanted to play. She's very, harmless. And that's another thing, when people find things thrown around the house and stuff, they're like, oh my God, it's freaking me out. It must be evil. It's something bad, until you realize, it's a spirit that is sad or lonely or misunderstood or scared, or it's a little girl or a little boy or something like that. And then all of a sudden it's not that scary anymore. Most spirits are misunderstood. They're not evil. They're not demons. And are they stuck in the place they're violently killed? Again, they are not subject to the same physics, the rules of physics that human beings in living corporeal bodies are subjected to. So no, they do not have to stay there. But that does open up the conversation to something I've become very familiar with the last 40 years or so, is that a large percentage of so-called hauntings are not hauntings at all. They're recordings. You don't hear about this very often. I do something called psychometry, where I can hold, say, somebody's watch or jewelry, something that they wear a lot, maybe car keys, something they use a lot, and hold it for a little bit, and the person can be alive. They don't have to be gone. And I can sit there and concentrate on it, and I can tell you information about that person. If it's male or female, what they might look like, certain things about them. It's called psychometry. And I found, just curiously, working with old buildings, that I'm really good at psychometry on old buildings, foundations, old buildings themselves, and putting my hands on the walls or on the foundation and getting really quiet. I can sense things, from smells to hearing sounds to seeing things that happened in that building many, many, many years in its early history. So that's when the concept of recordings came to me, and I do believe I read it somewhere before, which kind of introduced the concept, like what I was seeing. And what happens is, say there's a lot of frenetic energy, a lot of child energy, like in a school or something like that. You can go, those that are sensitive, I'm sure you've felt it. If you've gone into like an elementary school in the summertime, it's almost like you can feel that energy. Even if there's no kids in there. If something has happened in a place, if there's a lot of violence, abuse, sadness, sickness, illness, extreme happiness, or extreme reverence or devotion. That's why when you walk into a church, you can feel such a deep emotion of all the people praying there, or going into a cemetery. I know people that are very sensitive will start crying when they go into a modern cemetery, not so much the older ones, because nobody's there grieving anymore. They go into a modern cemetery and people will start crying because they're picking up the emotions of the people that have been there recently, grieving their loved ones who have passed. We leave our emotions behind us, and they can become almost tangible to people who are sensitive to them. Well, building material from wood to brick to stone holds, like, all right, for example, you can take, for those of you that are old enough, me and Michelle know, take a vinyl record. One time they used to be made out of wax, and with sound playing, put grooves into it, and that sound is pressed into that record. And that's how you get a recording. And the materials of a building do the exact same thing in the exact same way. If enough energy, enough sound, and it has to be pretty intense, is exhibited in that place, it's going to be left absorbed in that building material around you. and other people come in at a time. Maybe they're sensitive. Maybe some people never hear it or sense it. Other people are sensitive to it and they'll hear it. In this place, we hear a woman's voice often saying hello. Also, there are people that will see a gray ghost kitty running around downstairs, not up here, but downstairs. I honestly think those are recordings. I don't necessarily think they're hauntings. I think they're recordings of a woman that used to live here, who is a very gracious hostess, and everyone that ever lived here when it was a family home had cats. Every single picture I've been given has somebody holding a cat in their hand. So there were very much cat lovers here. So yes, I think you can sense the energy left behind after a violent attack when somebody has been killed. Is that spirit stuck there? No. I think we make I think it's a disservice to the spirits to think that they do not have the ability to move on. And I think many do move on, just as they're supposed to. But after they've moved on and gone to wherever it is they choose to go, maybe they might revisit. I think they might absolutely choose to haunt the people they love. I don't know about maybe the people that hurt them. I think that's a possibility. But there's a different kind of energy left behind of where they were actually harmed. So, another question.
Are spirits the same as demons?
No. No, spirits or ghosts, or even the recordings of them, are from humans that used to live. Demons, though. I believe it was King Solomon who, or it's reputed that it was Solomon who brought up the concept of demons. And I have some good friends that could correct me. But demons go back in written history for a very long time. And I think it's just simply because humans are very black and white in our thinking and philosophy. If there's something good that happens, something bad must happen. We have night and day. We have a sun and a moon, so we tend to really work on that polarity. We have spirits, and again, like I talked about, the little child ghost that haunted the house. It was really easy for the people that lived in the house to think that there was something evil about it because they knew things were, happening at night and they didn't know what it was. So it must have been evil until they found out that it was the spirit of a child that was kind of displaced. And then all of a sudden it wasn't as scary. So demons, in all of my experience, no demons. I think we have far more evil humans living and breathing on the face of the earth than we have demons. And if we did have demons, the kind that are written about in literature and seen on television or movies, wouldn't they just take us over and we would be their slaves? Why wouldn't they? I mean, that there's such a thing as demons, but they're kind of hiding off, waiting for us. That has everything about it as a childhood, fairy tale or something, perhaps to, convince children to go to bed and not cause trouble, things like that. So, yes. And that made me want to talk about something else. When it comes to ghosts and spirits and, what was the concept of demons? Give me a minute to catch my thoughts. Any other questions? Come on. Okay. Spirits that you see, the ghost hunter shows. Those are very, very popular nowadays. And I will tell you something to your face. Ghost hunter TV show people. It's a scam. It's completely and totally fake. It's a reality show, and reality shows are not real. I will tell you the reason why. 99.9% of them are done in the dark. You do not have to go to a place at midnight. Spirits are there 24/7. They no longer follow the rules of humans. They don't have to be there when the lights are on. They don't have to be there, at nighttime. They can be there anytime. They're there all the time if they choose to be. But it is very important that these television shows do most of this stuff at night, because they're using the same tricks that the spiritualists during the spiritualist movement tended to use, like the Fox sisters. They used hidden wires. Today they're using fishing wire and things like that, because I assure you, if you think about it critically, and we have to use critical thinking in a lot of this, even though, yes, I'm a witch, I'm a psychic, this is the world I live in, but I use critical thinking constantly. If you are paying the exorbitant amount of money to have a ghost hunter series, and some of these have been on for years, and you're going to get a ghost to act on cue every single time? I don't think so. I do not think so. And no, it's not because they're there videotaping around the clock. That's costing a lot of money. So when you have grainy video and it's black and white film and it's nighttime, and all of a sudden you see that file cabinet drawer open. Yeah, it's grainy and it's at night and it's poor lighting because you can't see the fishing wire that's attached to it or the cord that's attached to it. And a lot of other things are hidden. And oh, those Geiger counters, you know what? Get yourself a Geiger counter and walk through your house. Chances are your smart TV, your computer, your microwave, and many other pieces of equipment in your house will set it off. You have a pacemaker. I mean, there's so many things that'll set it off. But it's set on demon. I don't have it set on dishwasher. I have it set on demon. I'm sorry. It's a scam. Ghosts don't work that way. And the fact, hey, people believe WWE too. I mean, I trained in the martial arts almost 15 years, and we were trained, especially, in Hapkido and demo team, to throw yourself up in the air and slap out really loud and dramatically, just what you see them do on those, WWE shows, and they don't even do it well. So when we watch that, if you're a martial artist, you see the tricks, you see the scam, but people love it. It's a show. The problem is, people are watching the ghost hunter shows and they're believing it. It's meant to be entertainment. It's not real. Nobody is haunting insane asylums. You're probably getting a recording of the pain and misery that was there. And the fact that anybody is making money on the pain and misery of people in the past, it's obscene. And spirits, trust me, if you do encounter a real spirit, knock off this crap. They must see the light. I'm going to show them the light. Really? And it's like me coming to your house and saying, you know what? Yeah, you decorate like crap. I'm going to totally repaint your place. I'm going to redecorate. I'd be extremely offensive. The spirit is going to move on when they're ready to move on. It is not your place, nor is it up to you to decide. The spirits stay with the loved ones that they choose to stay with until they choose to be on the other side. And let me tell you one thing in conclusion. This might work for some people. This might blow some people's minds. Your spirit, your soul, you think it's just surrounding you? Is it? What would you say if I told you part of your soul is with you, of course, surrounding and enveloping you, but part of your soul could also be, I don't know, 500 years in the past, say in France, haunting an old house. And a part of it at the very same time could be 200 years in the future, on the other side, welcoming loved ones that have just passed over. And another part of your soul could be another place, actually in another body, living another life. Your soul is infinite, and it's also attached to everyone. I could tell you a story about that another time, but we cannot put our human physical limitations, our mental limitations, our emotional limitations on the spirit world, assuming they're stuck here because we saw them. The saddest thing I've ever encountered was not the spirit world, but was some humans on this side that when I got messages from the other side, and these were family members, I would never go up to a stranger in a supermarket and say, oh, your loved one wanted me to give you a message. That's, I consider that, really kind of not cool. I mean, if you don't know that person, but for some family members I had, that I did get a specific message from a direct, relative, a mother actually, that wanted to give a daughter a message because apparently that daughter was having a hard time. I couldn't even give the daughter the message because she was so uptight in her, I don't know what you call it, her rigid belief, which is really sad. That and I know that person wouldn't even see this video, I'm not worried about it, that she was just like, I can't hear this, I can't even hear this, because her attitude was, if that spirit is like communicating with you, that spirit can't be in heaven, so therefore that spirit must be in hell, because it's black and white and there's no in between. And wow, that's kind of sad, because it was a beautiful message and gave me a lot of comfort knowing that that family member of mine was in such a beautiful place. And it's nice to know that we go on. But some people, I guess, are not meant to have that comfort, especially if they push it away so vehemently. So, but that's okay. I am a firm believer in not pushing anything on somebody that they don't want. So if you do get some information somehow and you want to give it to somebody, test the waters, see if they're receptive. If not, again, never go up to strangers. That's too scammy. And if you do happen to do this for, kind of a side thing or a living or something, I know professionals that would never go up to strangers. But if you do happen to do this kind of thing, let people know this is what you do. But don't approach people like with a free reading or something like that, because when it comes to those on the other side, people can get really uptight about things, so you want to be respectful. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, if you've had your own ghost stories or your own ghost encounters, that would be so cool to share them with us in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. And if you've had any experiences that differ from mine, I think that's cool too, so let me know. Anyway, that has been my ghost story for today, so thank you so much. Remember, share, like, subscribe, and only cool cats and kittens allowed. Have a good one. Thanks.